Welcome to the Daughter Dearest Podcast with Simone and Olivia Canego, making the world a better place one conversation at a time. Mom Simone and daughter Olivia share authentic discussions about everything under the sun, including those things you might be thinking about but feel uncomfortable talking about. Thanks for tuning in. Now here are your hosts, Simone and Olivia.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Daughter Dearest Podcast. I'm Simone Canego.
And I'm Olivia Canego.
And thanks for joining us today. We are going to be talking about something uplifting because, I don't know, I just feel like the world is really difficult right now. So we thought, let's talk about something that we both really love, and that is dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some people don't like dogs, but we love dogs. Dogs just like make the world a better place. I mean, they have to, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess.
They're happy to see you when you come home and, you know, they don't talk back and, you know, like you could be upset at them 2 minutes before and they're still happy. They're like the best thing ever.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any dogs here, so maybe that's what I'm missing.
Yeah, I was talking to your sister.
It's so much commitment. I don't know how young people do it because I have a couple friends who have dogs and it's like, okay, even if you're adopting from a shelter, you still have to consider like food, toys, housing, and then you have to pay for insurance. And what if medical issues come up? Like, I don't know how people do it.
Well, it is a lot. We have a friend of ours. So we have 3 dogs. We have 2 standard poodles and a mini golden doodle. We'll talk more about them later and including our struggles with the mini golden doodle and her love of food. Oh boy. But yeah, we have a friend whose daughter got a puppy last year and it ended up getting really sick. And we're talking like thousands and thousands of dollars of medical bills. And the entire family was so invested in this puppy that they all came together for it, which is great. But yeah, for a lot of people, it's just not physically possible to be able to have a dog, for sure, not while you're in college, but even when you're starting off, with your first job.
I mean, and I get why people do get dogs. It's like very lonely, especially starting out of a young adult. I'm not there yet, but like moving out of college, you're not necessarily living with your friends anymore. You might not even be in the same city as your friends, but like at least you have someone to come home to every night, which, yeah, like that would be nice. I don't know. Over the summer, I was considering not getting a dog, but adopting a cat, because in New York, the cat adoption fees were $5 for the summer. But I was like, I don't know if I could have a cat in an apartment. I think that would just be overwhelming, the smell. And it's just like, I can't afford it.
I don't know if the smell, it's just that the litter thing, like, no matter what, the cat litter is going to get, you just got to be on top of cleaning it up, right?
Yeah.
You got to be on top of emptying the litter box. And and some people, I have a friend who absolutely loves cats, like her, those are like completely snuggly to her. For me, the dogs are snuggly, especially, Rosie, who just flops on your lap every day and just, that you'll be sitting on the couch. She'll literally walk up and just throw herself on top of you. And you're like, how is this even possible? But she does.
Yeah, that's what she does.
She'll just lay there. She'll just lay there. She also makes sounds like, she sounds like, we call her Chewbacca, because she does this rolling around thing and she makes these sounds. She sounds just like Chewbacca. She's very cute. Anyways, talking about like that companionship, actually it's, when I'm reading about, dogs being good for your health. And of course the article is called No Bones About It. Dogs are good for your health.
I like how there's always puns when it comes to dogs.
Yeah, like positive. Pawsitive. Yeah, yes, I know. So yeah, owning a dog has been linked to better mental health and a lower perception of social isolation, which can reduce the risk of heart attacks and cognitive issues. This is from Mayo Clinic. So this is like real stuff, right? That, I think about it. I mean, think about my mom. So my mom is 84 years old and we got her dog Buddy during COVID. And he's like her whole life now. I mean, to kind of like really funny extent, but it is what it is. He had a lot of health issues at first. And so she was constantly taking care of him. And, she literally cooks for him. He's actually at a kennel right now because she's just coming back. She was in Switzerland visiting my sister and her family. And so she was so worried about leaving him for 2 weeks. And, and I think she was not worried so much about him, but how much she could handle it. Right.
Yeah.
And so she's like definitely ready to be back to pick him up tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
But she loves to cook. I mean, she cooks for him. She hand feeds him. And he's like,
he's very
quite
spoiled.
a bit. Yes, spoiled. Like if she's talking to me, he'll be like whining at her because she's not giving him attention.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ridiculous. But you know what? It makes her happy. Like she has this, after my dad passed away, she needed something to take care of. And it wasn't going to be us, right? We're too old.
Yeah.
The kids are too busy. And not that they don't hang out with her, but I just mean like, she needed something. And although the dog at first she was like, oh my gosh, there's so many things wrong with him, but it turned out to be the best thing for her because, she feels like complete, right? She gets to take care of him every day, and and it's good for her too, because she takes him on these long walks. So it gets her out of the house. And so it's really been a blessing.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's definitely like a menace of a dog. Not my favorite dog in the world, but I think it's good for her.
Well, I don't know if he's a menace or that because he's so spoiled, he acts like a menace.
Okay, sure. That's like tomato. He's still a menace.
Okay. But it makes her happy, whatever. And I mean, I've always had dogs. When I was little, I had a little poodle. She was also quite overweight, but her name was Shaggy. And my dad trained her to... Huh?
I didn't know your dog was a poodle.
Yeah, Shaggy was a poodle. And my dad trained her to only stay in the kitchen and laundry room area. So she had like this, it was almost like before there was invisible fence, he created a mental invisible fence. Like she could not cross that line. Although when my dad wasn't home, I'd be like, come on. So she would get so excited running across that invisible line.
I feel like Kingsley, who was my first dog growing up, we had like similar things. So for a while, the dogs were never allowed on the couch. Of course, once you get a small dog, then all of that changes because you can't tell her no. You also just can't say no to Rosie. But Kingsley, he was a standard poodle. So pretty big. But anytime it was just like me and the dogs at home, I'd be like, they'd lay on the couch. They wouldn't get permission from me. But as long as there wasn't like an adult home, they would lay on the couch. Kina was always up on the couch. Kingsley was always up on the couch. But then, the small dog gets there and then everyone's on the couch.
Yeah. They kind of have taken over the couch to an extent because the two of them are pretty big.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know how like you can just not have your dog on the couch though.
I never did growing up. So I never really we just kind of did it that way. Right. And so many kids, it was like, okay, how many creatures can we fit on one couch? So it was like, do we put the humans on the floor or the dogs on the floor, but now, I mean, there's not even a question. Actually, the funniest thing is Sage. So Sage is also a standard poodle, and she loves to get on the, what is it called? The rocker, the lazy boy. So she gets up there and she smushes herself in there, and then she just rocks. She loves it. She's very happy up there. But when I was little, like that was absolutely not allowed to have the dogs on the couch. Forget the dogs in your bed. Oh my gosh, no way.
I don't like when the dogs are in the bed. They're just annoying.
Well, I agree with you. I don't like them in my bed either because they take up so much space. They don't understand. They don't understand personal space. Imagine that. But they really don't understand personal space. And so they just, they flip over in the middle of the night and then they're sideways. And your younger sister, it's really funny because she sleeps with two of them at night. And sometimes I'll go into her room to wake her up in the morning, and she's literally like at the end of the bed and the dogs have the entire thing.
Yeah.
Like, how do you let that happen? I'd be like, nope, get off, go. But they do. They are.
And she likes sleeping with the dogs. She gets offended when they don't sleep with her.
Oh yeah. No, she gets upset. Like lately, Sage like gives her a look like she doesn't want to come upstairs with her. And I'm like, it's okay, she can stay down here. And Millie's like, no, Sage, come on now. And I'm like, okay, like she's not like choosing sides here, but I think she feels like Sage is choosing sides. So just cracks me up.
Wow. I love Sage though. Sage is such a cutie.
Yeah, Sage was a COVID puppy. So there's a story here. My husband, for some reason, and it's my fault, it's not his fault that we have this dog, and she's fantastic. So it's great. But Millie said to my husband, hey, there were these really cute puppies at the pet store. But do you want to just go look at them? So he's like, yeah, sure. Not like intending, but he got like sucked in, right? He got sucked in, and they're at the pet store. And so of course, like they're giving you a presentation about the dog. And there was two red standard poodles that he liked. And so after the lady's done with the presentation, she's like, so Rob was like, just cut to the chase. How much are they? And she's like, well, they're $6,000. And Rob said, for both? And she said, no, for one. And he was like, he laughed and he looked at Millie and he said, I'm sorry, my friend, but this is not going to be happening today.
Yeah.
We're not spending $6,000 on a dog or $12,000 on two. And she got it. Like, she wasn't, I mean, of course she was upset because she, loves dogs, but she was like, she totally got it. She was like, this is ridiculous. And so then I felt like obligated to look, and I was like, why am I looking? And then I found this cute picture of Sage. She had a funky name at the time. And I was like, let's go look. Why did I do that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We had 3 dogs at the time. One is our oldest dog passed away a couple of months ago, but we had 3 dogs. Like, did we need a 4th? No, but what did Rob say? He said, the world's upside down. Who cares? Get another dog. And I was like, okay. So then we had 4. I know that was his answer. But honestly, she was so easy as a puppy, like really no accidents. She chewed up one thing. That was it. It was a substantial thing, but one thing. And she's just been like so sweet. She's like Tigger. She can jump over anything. She just looks like she's smiling. Like, she's such a cool dog. So we got lucky with that one.
For sure. She's very cute too.
Yeah, she is very cute. So it's interesting when you look at the benefits of having a pet. So I think that reduced cardiovascular disease is really interesting. I mean, I guess maybe because you're walking them more. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure that out. So
I think it could definitely be that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's really interesting. Increased activity in kids, right? So if you have a dog, like, your kids are usually playing with them, playing ball, taking them for walks, that kind of stuff. Obviously, increased activity for us. Lower blood pressure because they calm you, right? They really do calm you down from stuff. And reduce stress. I do think the biggest thing, though, is the reducing the feeling of loneliness. And I think that's for so many people. But
yeah, I think so,
it's interesting. Well, when you guys were little, we used to take you guys to the shelter. There was a program where you could read to the dogs.
Oh, that's funny.
And we would take you when you were in like kindergarten and 1st grade, and you would literally we would go to, and sometimes it was at the shelter, sometimes it was at the library. They would bring the dogs to the library, and you would go and sit there in front of the dogs and just read them a book. So it was like, you were doing something nice for the dog, not that they cared about your reading, but you're spending time with the dog, and then you're practicing your reading. So it was like and of course it wasn't like, it wasn't like, you have to go read. You were like, oh, I get to go read with the dog.
That's so sweet. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think people look like their dogs?
Oh, that's a good question. I wonder if people tend to buy dogs that look like them. Like, they say over time, you come to look like your dog. I mean, I have 3 curly hair dogs and I have curly hair. So
Yeah.
I would say that, yes. I mean, I used to have a chocolate lab, so I don't know. And he was such a good dog, but yeah, I think if you look around, you see a lot of people who do look like their dogs, and it's very interesting.
I think so as well.
Yeah. I mean, I can think of a lot of people when I think of their dogs. I'm like, oh yeah, and a lot of them have a very similar personality to their dog, right? So they create this in their dog. Like if they have high anxiety, their dog has high
For
anxiety.
sure.
You know, if they're chill, their dog is chill. If they're happy, their dog is happy. So, you know, they definitely like read you. I think some of the coolest things though, and we can talk about this after we come back from our, you know, what's the crazy Florida, is the support dogs, like emotional support dogs, but also like the ones that really,
Like the service animals.
yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah, I think
unbelievable.
that's so interesting. And like allergy dogs, we can get into that though after you do your
Yeah.
freak.
Yeah. My freaky Florida. So this started in Panama, but there was a flight going from Panama to Tampa, and here's the headline: Flight to Florida returns to Panama over a suspected bomb that turns out to be an adult diaper. Oh my gosh, really?
Like a
An adult
loaded
diaper?
diaper?
Well, that's what we're gonna read. That's hilarious. Okay. The Boeing 737-800 landed around 11 a.m. local time and moved to an isolated stretch of the tarmac where 144 passengers were taken off the plane, Panama's Civil Aeronautics Authority said on the social media platform X. An anti-explosive team inspected the aircraft. Jose Castro, the head of the airport security team, said a suspicious object in one of the plane's bathrooms was found to be an adult diaper. We had it on a secure runway where police, special explosives, canine units, and special forces examined the object and found it to be an adult diaper, ruling out any risk.
Oh my God. How does that even happen? What?
I don't know. Like, was it like a full pack? It doesn't give details, but it was like, was it like a full package? So
like, did someone be like, there's a bomb in the bathroom? Like, what was the situation?
Yeah, it doesn't give me more than that. I mean, I'll see if I can find another piece to it, but it's kind of like, you know, why would you think an adult diaper could be a bomb? Like, I don't really understand like the correlation there.
Where does that come from? I mean,
you can leave a bomb in the adult diaper, and I'm not talking about I'm talking about, you know, go to the bathroom in it.
Sure. oh, okay, never mind. I'm getting my lines crossed.
Yeah. Yeah, the mere mention of a bomb threat has the power to strike fear into the hearts of both passengers and crew online. Oh, there's a lot of articles about this. This is very interesting.
Oh, it's like a big deal.
Yeah. It was just a stink bomb. Even
bad.
the New York Post wrote about it. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was this is what caused alarm. It was an adult diaper wrapped in a black plastic bag. So it was the black plastic bag that made them think that there was, you know, something scary in there. And there definitely was something scary in there.
Yeah.
It just, you know, wasn't going to blow up the plane.
Oh my God. I wonder if like that person like admitted to it. Like, what's going on now?
Well, and I wonder like the person who called it out saying, oh my gosh, there's something suspicious in the bathroom. I wonder if they're like totally embarrassed. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I would be, but that's just me.
Yeah. They said that they posted photos of the item, a large cloth diaper wrapped in several black garbage bags. They posted photos of it on, you know, social media platforms to show what it was.
Someone literally like shit their pants and was like, fuck, let me cover it up. And then it turned into a bomb threat. That's great.
Can you imagine being that person where,
oh my God.
You have like this bad experience on the plane because you know, go in your adult diaper and then you wrap it up hoping nobody's going to see it. And then maybe you just didn't push it in the trash enough.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so someone sees it and they think there's a bomb. And now the whole plane is evacuated because of an adult diaper. I don't know. Do you raise your hand and say it was me?
I mean, well, I don't know.
I guess you kind of do because you.
But if you do raise your hand, it's like, that's me. They're gonna probably be like, you left a bomb in the bathroom?
Well, like a turd bomb.
I mean, it's still gonna be
a stink bomb. Yeah. Yeah.
I think if you say the word bomb on plane, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter as soon as there's any kind of suspicion of that. But I mean, it was going to Florida, so
yeah, we're not surprised.
Stink bomb. Okay, back to dogs because that one was like kind of disgusting, but still pretty hilarious.
Well, dogs and airplanes. This I know we were gonna say service animals. Well, kind of related.
Yeah.
Have you ever brought a dog in an airplane? I have not. Obviously, our dogs are too.
No, the only time we had a dog on a plane and we didn't bring him is when our oldest dog right now, Cody, he's a rescue and he's from California. So they shipped him from California and it was underneath the plane. Poor guy. No wonder why he's got like so many triggers, but that's the only time I've had a dog of mine be on a plane.
Okay.
Jacob and Abby, Abby's dog, she takes on the plane all the time.
Yeah, but he's like he's registered service, right? I don't know.
Yeah, he is service, and you wouldn't probably even know he was there. He just sits on her lap the whole time.
Yeah, he's good. I've been on some rides though. Oh, with that dog will just not yappity yap yap yap.
Yeah,
it's like a baby.
Yeah, I've heard cats on planes too that meow the whole flight, and you're like, I know it's got to be stressful, and I don't know, but.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. I'm like, you got to do what you got to do.
My sister was on a flight one time. I think it was my sister telling me the story where a person's dog got out of their carrier, ran through the aisles, had diarrhea everywhere. And, they couldn't catch it and they were, it shit all over the place. And yeah, it was not a.
God, that would be
the whole plane stunk. And
you at that point.
Well, you just got to clean it up and freshen it up. And you have people say, don't bring your dog on a plane. But plenty of people do. And, some of these dogs are really impressive. You can tell which ones are the true service animals and which ones aren't. Like, if they're shitting on the carpet in the middle of the plane, they are not a service animal, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's a given.
Yeah, I was in the airport one time. I forget what airport, but this guy had this like big German Shepherd and was walking, and it was not like a police dog. It was just someone's dog, and literally was walking through the terminal, and it literally took a massive shit just walking down the hallway, and he just left it there. I was like, oh, did that just happen?
Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, some people. I mean, dogs are amazing, but some people not so much.
Oh, it's the people. It's not the dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I've seen some interesting things. Or I've seen actually one of my last flights, this woman was sitting there and she had a dog with a service vest on. And I was like, is this really a service dog? Well, these two kids came off the plane and the dog went, and she wasn't holding the leash and the dog went after them and like, Rah! And luckily she was able to grab it just in time. But I was like, that is also not a service animal. Like, there's no way your service animal is going to attack small children.
I think that's such a terrible thing now that people like register their dogs as service animals when they're like not. Yeah. Because it's just like it harms like other service animals and people that actually need them because it like delegitimizes them.
Yeah. I agree. I was like, and then someone asked her later, oh, so what happened with that? She's like, oh, the children were just very loud and excitable. And it just, upset my dog. And I was like, no, they just walked off the plane. They weren't doing it. I was standing right there. I was like, they just walked off the plane. They weren't doing anything. But that's okay. That's, yeah, I've seen a lot of service dogs that are not really service dogs. And, but then think about the ones that the amazing things that dogs do when it comes to.
I completely agree. It's like fantastic the amount of like jobs that dogs can work.
Yeah. I mean, we have, what is it called? Southeastern.
Yeah, the Southeastern seeing eye dogs.
Yeah, the Southeastern eye dogs. And a lot of people here will foster and raise a puppy and then until they're ready to be trained for someone. And the dogs that can tell if someone's about to have a seizure, like they can
Oh my
have
God,
them sit down.
It's so cool. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Ones?
Yeah, I don't understand that one. Is it like they smell like maybe like there's some scent that happens or your
Yeah,
heart rate?
I would assume like both a combination of those things.
Yeah, it's really interesting though.
Yeah. Like I don't even know how science figured that out. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, I agree. But there's so many different things. And then obviously the dogs that sniff for bombs, the dogs that sniff for drugs. Like it's really, and then also dogs
when I was in DC, I did see, and this is again goes back to the human, one of the like a police officer with his drug dog, just the dog took a shit and he did not pick it up. I was like, oh, okay.
Wow. That's pretty surprising actually.
Yeah, I would say.
But they can do so many cool things. I mean, can't they even, some of them can like smell if you have cancer or something. Am I making that up?
I remember there was some, was that, I might completely be making this story up, but it was a girl from Sarasota who was working on that.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Well,
I'll have to research that for another time, but I kind of don't think I'm making it up. I kind of feel like they can smell certain things.
Yeah. And search and rescue dogs too.
Yeah. That's an unbelievable one where the people get buried in an avalanche and they could be buried like 20 feet down and the dog can still smell them and can still locate them and dig them out.
I listened to such a great story today about dogs, actually. Wow, that's so funny. I wasn't even thinking about this episode when I was listening to this, but it was about a runt of a litter in like an Alaskan herd dog. What are they? They're Siberian Huskies, but for like mushing. Is that what you call it? Yeah, and he was never like chosen, but that's all he wanted to do was be like one of the like the lead dogs in there. And he never even got on a sled, but like he kept breaking out of his kennel to go join the other dogs. That finally the owner was just like, okay. And he worked his way up to like the lead. And like the cool story behind that was during some big freeze in Alaska, the village they were in it was like a huge outbreak of some disease. And they needed medicine, but the plane engines were frozen. Like you couldn't get a boat in. So they like mushed the dogs along, and his route like had the most dangerous route, and they did it successfully and like saved hundreds of people.
You know, there's a movie.
Okay.
You should watch it. Although you don't like watching movies, but yeah, there's a movie about it. It's very cool. You're right.
Yeah,
but it's based on a true story. Yeah, I mean, come on, like all
they're
the
like
things
true
that they can do
because they don't have bad things about them. I feel like when I learn about my heroes or meet, you're never supposed to meet your idols or whatever. It's like because then you're gonna learn out the bad qualities. And with humans, like there's not always bad qualities, but there might be like unfavorable ones. And with dogs, like they're just dogs. Like they do a good thing, and you can't uncover any bad past about them.
What's the name of that one dog? What was his name? Hachi, the Japanese.
Yes.
It was the Akita who used to go and wait for his person at the train every day. And when his person passed away, he still would continue to go there every day. Nobody was able to really keep him after that. Like he lived, and there was some statue built after him to just the power of commitment, like just the love that, a dog has for its person, It's pretty cool. Although I can tell you, my dogs love me, but like sometimes there's been twice in the last couple of months where they got out of someone didn't close the gate properly outside, and I'm calling them and no response. And so I'm like, oh, they got out. And you know what they do? They basically look at me, shoot me a bird, and keep running, Oh, I have to get in my car.
Their taste of freedom. They don't want to be out on the streets. Our dogs don't want that. Some dogs do. Our dogs don't. They would never survive.
But it's so frustrating. I'm like, you put them outside for 2 minutes and they want to come back inside because they're too hot. But if they get out of that gate, they like run like there's no tomorrow. And I literally have to get the car. I get the car and then I drive up next to them and then they jump in. Except for the last time, Cody he would not get in the car. So Sage jumps in the car and Cody out. So I literally had to like turn the car around and he's walking down the middle of the street back to the house and I'm with the car behind him. Literally like hurting him with the car to get back to the house. I was like,
see, our dogs are not the incredible sort. They're not making amazing contributions to the world.
No, they're not. But they make us happy. But you're right. They're not saving lives.
No, for sure
That's
not.
for sure. But I was like, I cannot believe that's what he's doing. He's literally, making me hurt him with the car.
You wanted to taste what the country life was like, I guess.
Yeah, he almost made it all the way out to the big intersection, which, the chance of getting hit there would have been tremendous. Yeah. So it's,
I see people in New York, and you have to have your dogs unleashed, but there's just like one woman who keeps, sometimes she has the little one on a leash and sometimes she doesn't, but she's like some big dog. He's very shaggy and he doesn't look like he's well taken care of, but I think it's just like he has that kind of hair. And then a little dog, and they're never on leashes, and they're just walking through the street of New York.
And they just stay with her?
Yeah. Or like she's a little bit behind them. Like they're free to do their own thing.
Huh. What do you think about dogs in strollers?
Okay, like I was so anti it for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And I still am, because the whole point of going on a walk for your dog is so they get exercise. The walk isn't necessarily for you. I mean, it's for you, but like you could go on a walk without your dog. You don't need to bring your dog in a stroller. But in the winter, I get it. Especially if your dog won't wear the boots. It is so cold on their feet. And also like a lot of people put shoes on their dogs here because the ground is so gross. And if they'll drag stuff into your apartment, which is like very valid and like that's yucky. I mean, it's not just like regular dirt. It's like, who knows what's on New York City streets, to be quite honest with you. So I get that aspect. So putting it in a stroller for that, I see. But I also just like, I don't know, put shoes on your dog then.
Well, I see it so frequently here. And
Really?
and again,
Why?
well, the asphalt is hot. Okay. So
yeah.
But I also feel like I think there is a place for it. Like if you have an older dog and they can't walk that far, right? And so you want to take them out, but you know they're not going to be able to walk the whole distance, or if your dog is blind or whatever. Like I think there's like these reasons. But I see so many people that just have their little froofy dogs in a stroller, and I don't understand. I'm like, what is happening? Like,
yeah. No, I don't really get it. Don't really get the dogs and the purses either. Also, just because I would never want to put a dog in my purse.
Some of those are really hilarious looking though. They're like the purses or the backpacks where they're like.
I think the New York City rule is that your dog has to fit in a bag to go on the subway. But I saw like one post, like someone cut holes in like a huge IKEA bag and put their big dog in it.
Yeah. Yeah, so. I saw that too. So yeah, but yes, I think that is the rule, that they can't just walk on the subway, but if you put them in a bag, they can go with you. And yeah, you see crazy things where people have like this giant dog in this bag over their shoulder. And I guess the dog gets used to it. I don't know, but it's a market, right? Like there's a
whole market, dude. The dog market is insane. It's like it's no longer just necessities and basics. It's like there's every variation of toy gadget you could ever want.
And everything is blinged out, like the different bags and it's the collars, the leashes. It's like, okay, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
But people love that. So whatever. I mean, there's a market. Cute. There's a market for everything.
But I love it. There is a market though.
Yeah.
Wait, I want to do my story because I think it's very fitting. Although it's not in the country today, I decided to break the rules a little bit because the world's oldest dog ever died in Portugal.
Oh.
He was 31 years old.
Holy moly, 31.
So approximately 217 in dog years. He was a guard dog who passed away at a veterinary hospital over the weekend. His name was Bobby. Bobby lived on a farm in Portugal with his owner and 4 cats. And he was born in 1992 when his owner was just 8 years old.
That is so cool.
Had been with him forever. And Bobby eats it
Wow.
once. And what's more, Bobby has never been put on a lead. And so he's officially claimed the record now. The past record was 29, an Australian cattle dog who died in 1939. Oh, wow. That's a big like gap.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah. I am not going to be able to say this dog name. He was a purebred Raffiero do Alento. No, I'm not even going to.
Yeah. You're failing.
But it's a breed of Portuguese dog that has the average life expectancy of 10 to 14 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, he was
31 years.
Family's farm. And in his past couple of years, they let him just live his life.
Thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like Keen at the end. It was like whatever she wanted to eat.
Yeah. Like, why
Didn't
not?
matter. Yeah. Whatever
It's
she
31.
ate, whatever she.
31.
Yeah. That's really impressive.
That must be devastating.
Yeah. I wonder at what point you say to yourself, like, when they hit 15 years old, like that's old. Like our last dog that just passed away, she was 15. Like she had her hips at that point were horrible. Everything was like, she was really struggling. So like, I wonder if this dog was like, had no issues until he got closer to 31, or if he struggled for a really long time.
I mean, the background of it doesn't appear like it would be the type of family or community that would like fund every single procedure, rather just like let the dog live out naturally. And I think they did just that, and he lived to 31.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah. I think that's one of the hardest things about dogs is that we only have them for such a short period of time.
No.
And you get so attached to them that my mom says all the time, I don't know what I'm going to do when something happens to Buddy, it's sad that we think that way, but it's true. Like they're such kind companions.
Yeah. And I mean, they're just such parts of our family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're a part of the family. They're not just dogs. They really are.
And I think that's like with most people in the States that do have dogs, they're part of the family.
Yeah. And they just make your day brighter.
Yeah, like, that's true.
That's what I was thinking the other day when I was having a bad day. I was like, I just need to hug my dog. I get to see my dog. That's what I want to do. Not that I don't want to see my kids. Of course I do. Or my husband.
They won't talk back.
Yeah. And they're like so happy. And it's so funny. Even if I'm gone for like one night, like when I leave for something for speaking, I'm gone for one night. And then I come back and it's like they haven't seen me in years. They are like so excited. And it's so funny. It's like, okay, I was just here yesterday, but doesn't matter. It was
very valued member of the tribe, Mom.
Yeah, I know. For the dog tribe, for sure. They like to follow me everywhere. I leave the room, they follow me out of the room. I leave the room. I'm like, I wish I could give them like an idea, like I'm coming back in 3.2 seconds. You don't need to follow me every time. But they do. They follow me everywhere I go.
I think that's cute though.
It is cute. I really do. And again, I think I've had a dog for as long as I can remember.
Yeah, I've had a dog forever. We've always had dogs.
Yeah, I don't remember having a period of time. And so, Millie's like, oh, should we have 4 dogs again? I'm like, no, we're good. 3 dogs is fantastic. And she's like, are you going to always have dogs?
She's leaving soon. She doesn't realize yet how much it sucks. And she's thinking, Millie has had this idea in her head for her whole life that she can bring the dogs with her to college.
No, it's just not possible. I think she knows now that she can't, but I think that it's not that she's going to struggle with it. She's going to want to bring them.
Yeah.
She's going to be like, can you FaceTime the dogs with me? That's what she's going to do, because that's going to be a hard one for her. I mean, she sleeps with them every night. So her recovery for that will be tough, but I mean, we get used to everything, right? Like there's always changes. And, but I just look at the dogs we have now. We've had a lot of really cool dogs I have over my.
Yeah, I've only had poodle.
Yeah. Adult life. I want to say the chocolate lab I was talking about, Hank, he was such a cool dog. We got him. He was a friend of mine. Her roommate was about to get married, and she didn't like dogs, and it was her future husband's dog. So he had to give him away. And I was like, oh, this dog was 4 years old. He was super smart. And we literally put him in the car with us with 2 other dogs when we moved to Texas. And so I want to say he stood like the entire ride to Texas from Florida. He would put his head on your shoulder, but he was there were 2 other dogs in the car. He didn't want to lay down. He didn't know them. But he became like the best dog. I took him for training just for fun. And I took him to German Shepherd training. And, and so basically it was all these German Shepherds and then Hank. And I could put Hank on a place from like a football field away, and he would not move. No matter who came by him, he would not move until I gave him the command to move. And I used to take him with me to the barn, and he would just lay by the arena while I rode and then follow me back to the barn as soon as I was done. But he was never distracted by the other dogs or whatever else was going on. He was completely like eye contact, focused on me. And now these dogs,
I think that would be so cool to have a dog trained like that.
Oh yeah, he was so well. I worked really hard. I mean, I didn't have kids back then.
Yeah, of course.
First, so I worked really hard on him. Nowadays we're like, oh good, you can sit. That's a good dog. You can sit. But and I know actually Sage would be really capable of like super training because she picks up on things really quickly. I think she's very bright, but it's like taking the time to do it.
Yeah, and then it's like you could send her to like the doggy boarding school, but then you'd miss her.
I'd miss her. Yeah, I don't know. I could just invest my own time in it, but I have so many things going on. It's hard to.
Yeah, it's like you need another pandemic, but like not actually.
I just
like, don't let that happen.
No, we don't need another pandemic. We just need to spend more time at home and not feel guilty, right? Like that's part of it is like there's so many things to be done all the time that you feel like you have to go instead of just, relaxing a little bit.
Yeah. Sounding like me with my crochet.
You and your crocheting, you're like crochet city.
Yeah. I took a break for a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. It's impressive. It is impressive. Okay. What's your calendar telling us today?
It's Labor Day in New Zealand. Life isn't a movie where the struggle and the happy ending are only an hour or 2 apart, and you can't fall asleep during the boring parts or cover your eyes when shit gets gory. But you can't get a dog.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you're right. Life has a lot of things going on in it, especially right now. So we're using our dogs to bring us some joy when things are just so stressful and the world seems so divided, and dogs make you happy. And for cats, cat lovers, cats make them happy too. So, but I'm a dog lover. Something about a dog.
I do. I love dogs.
I wonder if and this will be my last question for you. If your parents love dogs, do you automatically love dogs? Like, do you learn to love dogs? Or are there some people who have dogs and they just don't like them? Do you know anybody that has a dog that just doesn't like dogs?
No, I can think of a lot of people that didn't want dogs and then fell in love with their dog.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, I know those people.
But not people that have dogs and hate them.
Yeah.
I think you have to be an evil person for that. Well, maybe not. Maybe you just are a cat person.
Yeah. Just something to leave you with. Well, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the Daughter Dearest podcast. Yes, we talked about dogs today. We couldn't help it. We wanted to have a nice, happy, shiny topic, and we love dogs. So that's what we did today. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Daughter Dearest podcast with Simone and Olivia Canego. We hope this episode has made your day just a little bit brighter and given you the inspiration you need to confidently go about your week. Always remember to be authentically you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and feel free to connect with them on Instagram at Daughter Dearest Podcast at Simone Canego and at Olivia Canego. Till next time.